And let's go check it out because we
Let's
know
check
this
it.
gonna be a fly interview, girl. It's gonna be the best of the best. We getting ready to lay it out there for
Yeah.
them. You think they ready at 10 a.m.?
I
You
think
think
they
they
ready. Look,
ready?
I
I
was
don't
actually ready
know.
for a little background music. Look,
Let's
I
see.
can use some music.
Oh, I can't bring that music. You know why? Because at the moment that music hits Facebook, baby, it will shut
It's gonna shut it
us
down.
down.
Yeah.
What's crack-a-lacking world? I'm your girl, Marky Lemons Row. But today, it ain't about me. It ain't about me. It's about this heavy hitter that I had the opportunity to be able to interview. None other than Cassandra Sneed. Where is Miss Cass today? Boo.
Good morning. Where's Miss Cass? I'm glad you asked. I'm so excited to be a part of this morning's interview, and we are going to talk about some things that are going to touch some hearts today. So I'm ready. I'm ready.
So, you know what? Because you and I are not one to mince our words. And let me say this, I am so elated that you are with me. You are part of my crew. We have seen each other during the pandemic because your energy is freaking phenomenal. And you make me feel bad when you come over to visit, because I might let people walk past and don't say hello. You stop them in their track, girl. They coming down the street, you speaking to my neighbors, they neighbors, you like, excuse, good day, how you doing today? All right now, right? Because you stopping everybody and you are speaking to them in real time. But we want to talk about mindset. We want to
Yes,
talk about earning potential.
yes.
And I have started to use you. I'm using you in my story where I talk about you earned in 1 month what would have taken
7,
years.
7 years.
So you accomplished something in 2020 that a lot of people don't accomplish. You had your first $1 million sales month in real estate in your first full time
Yes,
year in the business. I want you to tell people why that is so important based on where you got started.
absolutely. So the energy is reciprocal. Let me say that. So it's reciprocity. Let me get that out the way. That I always get tricky with that word, but you know my intention. I mean, I think that we give what we get, and I think that we get what we give. And I think seeing you be able to pivot in 2020, knowing that you would be on the airplane somewhere in a different city, in a different town, the way that you've been able to still pour into us, even though you've not been able to do what you've been used to doing, you pivoted and you showed us how to do it and how to do it with grace. So I appreciate you, my sister. Now, okay, so September of 2020, I hit $1 million, over $1 million in real estate sales. Yes, hello. And that was also my birthday month. So it was a very powerful month for me. But let me backtrack and tell you all where I came from and why that month was so pivotal to my career. So I came into the real estate industry after being in several different organizations, but before even coming into corporate America, I came into adulthood as a teenage mother of a girl. At the time, I was 17 years old in my junior year of high school at Hyde Park Career Academy. Shout out to my HPCA alums. And I had to drop out in my junior year. I had to drop out in my junior year, and I did not get back into school. I never went back to obtain my high school diploma. So we're getting real today. This is me sharing my story, and I'm being completely transparent. In November of 1996, I went back to school. I was at a Jobs for Youth company, a nonprofit downtown called Jobs for Youth, where I obtained my GED. So listen to what I'm saying. $1 million month in sales in September of 2020. Young lady from the South Side of Chicago who has a general equivalency diploma. I never received a college degree. In fact, I went to college and I hated it and dropped out. So I just want you all to understand who's speaking in front of you. Like, I'm not this high profile type of person with degrees on my walls, adorning my walls. No, I'm a single mother, and The reason why that month was so important is because when Marky and I we talked about that in reflection one day, and we realized that it would have taken me 7 years to accomplish the sales quota that I accomplished in 1 month. The way that we broke that down is being a single mother. Hold on, let me just dance real quick.
Woo! Won't he do it? Yes, he did.
Won't
Come
he
through.
will? Won't
Yes.
he will? So the reason why that is so important, and the way that Marky and I broke that down, is we were just in reflection, and she looked up and she said, being a single mother, how did you survive? And so I talked to her about being a single mother, being on welfare. I utilized the welfare system as a single mother, which I did not want to do. I felt like I was going to be a part of a statistic in the community, and I did not want to be a part of the statistic. And it was not until my father came and talked to me, and he told me, I work for the Cook County Sheriff's Department. Mind you, my dad was a Cook County Sheriff for 39 years. He said, that money that you're going to collect is my money. That was the only way that I would go down to get on public assistance. I refused to get on public assistance because I had heard horror stories about how they treated young Black women, horror stories about how they spoke to you, how they talked to you, how they made you feel like you were beneath them. And I experienced that every month when I had to go down there to check in. But it was my father, may he rest in peace, that encouraged me to do it, because him working for Cook County Sheriff's Department for 39 years, he said, that is absolutely my money. Go and get it, and go and get the help that you need. So
Wow.
when yeah, yeah, very powerful.
Wait, girl, wait. So this is what I heard you say, right? You started off as a 17-year-old unwed mother on public assistance.
Yes,
And because you decided to change your mind, your situation, your circumstances, and your legacy, you made over $25,000 in the month of September. And
yes,
as we said, it's going to be the first $1 million month. It
yes.
ain't going to be the only $1 million
No, it's
month.
not.
It's going to be the first $1 million month.
Yes.
What, well, one, why real estate?
I've always loved real estate. And personally, I got into real estate in the early 2000s because after leaving school, I started working little jobs here and there. But then I linked up with a corporation, a major cellular company in 2003, US Cellular. And I worked for US Cellular for almost 12 years. And I had 7 promotions in the time that I worked for them. So again, this is somebody who I'm up against promotions against people who have master's degrees, who's had bachelor's degrees. But it was my drive and my consistency that allowed me to be acknowledged amongst peers who have had 2 or 3 degrees above me. So when I left US Cellular in 2012, after they left the Midwest, before they left, I'd actually purchased. Unfortunately, I purchased during a time right before the bubble burst. So in 2006, I literally was pre-approved for a multifamily in K-Town. I had no idea what K-Town was, why they called it K-Town.
You about that life.
I
K-Town is
get
a whole nother life. You about that life.
it was
Shout out, shout out to
huh,
Inglewood Soderbergh. You's about that life. He don't even claim K-Town. Well, let me
listen.
say this: all the West Side ain't K-Town, but let's go with that.
West, all the West Side is not, and I love the West Side. Let me just say this: I bought not knowing. My point was, I bought not understanding the community, and the agent who assisted me didn't, in my opinion, did not help to enlighten me on not the community, but just what you need to do if you miss a payment. Like, here are some things you need to be mindful of. There was really no communications, and I can't blame her solely because I own a part of that. Needless to say that 2006, I purchased that two flat 1531 South Kenneth. You can look it up. My name is on it. 1531 South Kenneth, purchased in 2006. Ended up was short selling in 2007. So I purchased in 2006. I lost my building in 2007. But here's what God did to me when I was in the closing, when I was getting ready to give up the building that I felt was getting ready to generate some generational legacy for my family. I walked into that room ashamed. I had my head bowed down. I couldn't even look the new buyer in the eye. I felt completely like a failure. And I sat at the end of that closing table, and God said, either you can use this moment to propel you, or you can use it to keep you down. It was at that moment that I said that I'm going to do better. I'm going to go into real estate. I'm going to learn the process. How did I end up losing my building? How many people are out here struggling? How many people don't understand that there are programs in place to help you if you're struggling, if you start to hit stumbling blocks? There are organizations that can help you. I didn't find out any of this until after I lost my building. And so that passion, that pain turned into a passion for me. So a lot of people don't know it, but my real estate career, getting my license, was a 10-year journey because I got licensed. I went back to school for the third time in 2017.
Wait, a 10-year journey.
Getting my license was a 10-year journey. I'll give you the condensed version.
Okay.
2007, I lost my building. 2008, I signed up for classes at the College of DuPage because I was living in Woodbridge, Illinois at the time. I hated the class. I hated the facilitator. There was no emotion, there was no energy behind the instructor. And I'm a believer of energy. You have to have good energy, especially when you're doing something as significant as that. So my daughter Deja will tell you, I was at home in Woodridge, right? I had notes all over the walls. I had highlights, I had stickies, and I still felt like the information was just not sticking. So in 2008, I passed the class. I never went to get my license because I knew that I would fail. And I didn't understand that, hey, if you fail, you can go back and take it again. Again, just not being in the right circles with the right people. I didn't do my due diligence because I was just starting out with getting licensed. So 2008 was a bust. It didn't happen. I went back in 2009 to College of DuPage again with a different instructor. And unfortunately, my sister was battling cancer. So I started to go to class, but then she started falling ill. And she unfortunately in 2010 lost her battle to cervical cancer on Valentine's Day. So I didn't want to talk about real estate classes anymore because mentally and emotionally, I connected the two. Don't ask me how, but it's the trauma that I experienced in losing her, knowing that I was even thinking about, how dare me even think about trying to go to real estate school and real estate class, and my sister is in this hospital or at home fighting for her life. So I made a decision to leave real estate school so that I could help take care of her, because at the time my older sister was in Georgia. So when she,
Wow.
yeah. So when she passed, I was like, I don't even want to worry about real estate. I don't want to talk about it. I connected the two.
Look, what I'm realizing is how much work, no, 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 how much work you have performed on yourself,
Yes.
right? One, to get over the mental obstacles, right? And whatever that took, right? Because everything you telling me, I can see it as a mental struggle, right? And
Yeah.
and you overcame that struggle. You had to put some work in. I don't care if
Oh
that's
yeah.
therapy, self-help, if it's becoming better acquainted with your God,
Yes.
whatever that looks like. It requires work. It requires diligence. And one thing
Yes.
you said was mindset. So let's fact. So I understand these two times. So what shifted in your mindset for you to come back and try the third time?
2017 was another pivotal moment for me. So 2017, I was in an unhealthy relationship. I was in the process of selling my own personal home in Romeoville, Illinois, so that I can move back to Chicago to take care of my mom, because she has started getting she's getting older, she's getting up there in age. So, the beginning of 2017, in this unhealthy relationship, I reached out to my then at the time a husband, and I let him know. I said, we sat down and I said, I'm just not feeling corporate America. At the time, there were some racial tensions in our corporation between us and a few members of leadership. And being a Black woman in a tech field, because at the time I was working for a company called Redbox. We all know that company very well. And although the company itself was amazing, the culture was very similar to US Cellular, some of the leadership was not ready to engage with African American people, in my opinion. So, working in a tech industry, you're talking about predominantly males, Caucasian white males. So, for me to be in a leadership role in that company, it took a lot of patience. It took a lot of patience. And I felt like at times I had to walk on eggshells, and that just wasn't the environment for me. So 2017 is when I made a decision that in March, I was leaving the company completely. So in March of 2017, I quit cold turkey with no plan B.
So you were fed up.
I was done. I was
Yeah.
done. It was taking an emotional toll. It was taking a mental toll on me. And I just did not, going in there physically made me ill. And I had to make a decision, and I left.
And and let me say this because I did a show about it. When companies come to hire, outstanding dynamic people like yourself, instantly they want you to be a culture fit. They don't look at you as a culture ad. And you are a culture ad. I'm gonna say this. I'm elated that you came into the world of real estate because the world of real estate needs a Cassandra Sneed. So, um, and that you don't have to fit the
Yeah,
the box, right? Uh, and they still gonna come back and need that touch, that special
absolutely.
touch that you have. Okay, so we cold turkey with no plan.
So cold turkey with no plan. March of 2017, I go home and I explain to my husband, I show him my letter and I said, this letter was given to the company 2 weeks ago. And he and I talked about it. He didn't think that I was moving forward with it. He was asking me to wait so that he could continue to sow into his business. But I had been sowing into his business for 6 years with no results. So 2017, I said, enough is enough. I told him I'm quitting. You can stay and support me for on my journey, or I quit Redbox. I can quit you too. It's no problem. And, and so ultimately we went our separate ways. And I did not miss a beat. I went to collect unemployment. So I had unemployment for a few months. I leveraged that unemployment. I started doing Lyft. I started doing Uber to supplement my income. November of 2017, I took a 17-day real estate class, an expedited class, 17 days straight. And December of 2017, December the 22nd to be exact, I passed my real estate licensing exam for the state of Illinois.
Come through now. Okay. Girl, look, I feel like you and took me to church. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. All right. So we got our
Here,
real estate license. Well, first
yes,
of all, you went and got your GED. You then
November of 1996.
okay, you got your GED. You dropped out of high school. Did not know that. You went and got your GED. You get your GED. You go on to work in corporate America. You get 7 promotions over the course of the time that you were at US Cellular. They leave this region. You then do something else. You
Yes,
lose a sister to cancer.
yes,
You on your third time with this real estate thing, right? With
yes,
this real estate license, you
yes,
finally passed the real estate license, right? So
yes.
I'm hearing survivor, I'm hearing conqueror, and one thing that I always praise you for that you do unlike anyone I've ever seen before. Your follow up skills are on point. They are impeccable, right? And I'm pretty sure after this video today, it's gonna be people slithering into your DM, right? Because they're gonna talk that
Right.
sweet stuff. Because everybody need a Cassandra Sneed, okay? So I know they already slithering. It's okay with me, right?
Yeah.
Because what I'm gonna say, one, I think that you would tell me, but I don't think they energy is like a Marky Lemons, a Nick Libert, or a Zeke Morris, because you got
No.
high energy folks around you. They might have a good offering, okay?
Yeah.
They ain't got that energy, like
So we
like.
talk about that. It's crazy because I call you all the Holy Trinity when I talk to agents. I said, I don't, Berkshire Hathaway has reached out. It's a few others that have reached out. I won't say any other names, but at the end of the day, for me, it's about the energy, the trilogy, the history. I mean, when I look at your history in real estate, when I look at Nick's history in real estate, and you can't speak history without saying Zeke Morris. You just cannot speak history in real estate in Chicago and not mention Mr. Morris. So when I look at the total package that we have, I cannot find, I've looked, I've searched, I cannot find another agency here that offers the level of mentorship and accountability that our office does. And you can go to any of those people and ask for coaching, you can ask for mentorship, but you're going to be held accountable. I think the last time we had a Zoom, I talked about how it's not an easy thing. Like, it's not a cakewalk being a part of Exit Strategy Realty, but it's because you all hold us accountable. So when we sit in those meetings and when we take up your time, when you can be doing something else and we're going over that business plan, you best believe that a week later, you're going to come back and say, so how did that plan of action go? Did you do your call to action? So I was looking on social media and I didn't see anything. So did you come to 6 and 12? Um, Tell me what's that do? So, I mean,
Well, here's the thing, and I tell people all the time now, you don't have to tell me nothing.
yeah,
I know if you're doing it because I'm going to
yeah,
see it. So all this, and and I practice the same thing even with my children. You can go on and all this talking you doing,
yeah,
you can cease all that. I know what you're doing.
it's
I'm not
true.
just on here posting my stuff. I'm on here looking and I'm
It's
listening.
true. It's true,
Okay.
everybody. I'm
And
telling you, it's
so
true.
and so I know if you did it, right? And I tell people one of the things you and Nicole Wheatley have in common. Y'all don't necessarily like me all the time, right? And I know when you don't like me because you roll your eyes and you question it like,
No, we do
anyway,
it in your face. We do it in
you
your face.
you do it in my yeah, y'all ain't doing it behind my back. I know
Not at
exactly
all.
how you feel face to face. Because as women of color, I am clear that it is 100% okay for us to earn the same amount of money working the fewest hours possible. And I was listening to someone yesterday who blatantly just said, well, I don't see how we're going to make the same amount of money as white men. To me, I got to concentrate on solution and not on the problem. I ask what white
Yeah,
men make. And the reason I ask, because my mother did not raise me to believe that they should earn one more penny than what her baby earned. And
yeah,
whether you're degreed or not, as you know, my mother was a 17-year-old unwedded mother as well and
yeah.
was a pioneer of concession stands. And her thing was she wanted to educate me and ensure that I didn't have to go through what she went through. So now when I'm talking to people, I let them know off the back. My mother endured a 15-year drug addiction,
Wow.
started when I was 18 years old. My mother already paid. She was the sacrificial lamb for me to be able to do what it is that I do. She had already paid for this. I don't have to do no more than do what I'm supposed to do.
I
And that's
agree.
to show up and to perform. And so
I
one,
agree.
so and let me say this, I got to spend some time with you for your birthday. How getting your earnings up, right? Earning what you are worth, right? Just starting to scratch the surface.
Yeah.
What did that do for you?
I
What
think
what
for
did
me,
September do for you?
so September shifted my mindset to another level. So I talked about those years and I shared those life-changing moments because every time I experienced those, I had a different mind shift. It shifted me a little bit more. So September just added fuel to that fire. It made me understand that one, I am worth it. It made me to understand that I am worth it, but I have to put in work. I cannot expect anybody to hand anything to me. And the third thing it showed me is that I am capable of doing this long term. And so let me tell you how it shifted me. It shifted me to the point where I sat down with Deja, my daughter, who is now 25, and I shared everything that I do. Every time I get a commission check, every time I get paid, I show her, I share with her, I talk to her about financing because I know that in our communities, our parents were not taught, they didn't feel like we needed to know about financing. They didn't feel that we needed to know about bills and fees and how do you take care of your bills when you don't know when your next paycheck is coming from, because with real estate you really don't know when you're going to get that next commission check. All you know is if you put in the work, you can kind of time it out based on how many clients you have, thanks to somebody named Marky Lemons Ryle, based on how many clients you have, based on the price points that you're working under. You can see how much you're going to make if you really take time to do the work, but you have to do the work. So September showed me that everything that you have said, everything that you've taught us, everything that I've learned from Nick and Zeke, all of that was a culmination of September. And I just learned that, honestly, I learned that I'm in the right place. Bottom line, if I can just keep it there, I learned that I'm in the right place. God set me in exit for a reason. So much so to the point that now my daughter is now going through her licensing program at the age of 25. She hopes to be licensed before she's 26. So she turns 26 in October. So we are now trying to break generational curses over here. And we're doing that with the tools and the training and the technology that Exit is offering us, but also the mentorship.
So now there are people who want to come into real estate. They don't know how to get started. They don't have anyone who mentors or coach. And one thing that we know as a result of everything that has happened, you're now doing motivational speeches. You're helping all other offices have reached out to you for
Yes,
you to come in. And so if anyone is new to real estate, want to make a mind shift, need someone around them, right, that's willing to nurture them, but hold them accountable, then I'm
yes,
going to need them to go on and text you, right?
yeah,
Tell her
absolutely.
where to text you at.
So if you are interested in connecting with me, you can text Miss Cass to 85377. That's MSCASS to 85377. To Marky's point, I've definitely enjoyed being speakers, motivational speaking at alternate real estate offices, because I believe that it is collaboration over competition, and there is enough out here for all of us.
Say that again. It's enough what? It's
There's
enough what?
enough out here for all of us, because although we have so many real estate agents, and Marky, maybe you can share the statistics about how many real estate agents are actually really out here doing the work versus the number of real estate agents. So don't be intimidated by the number of agents that are here in Illinois. Don't be intimidated by the number of agents that are here in Chicago, because not everybody's doing work out here.
It's an 80-20 rule. So 20% of the agents control 80% of the market, and everyone is not doing work, especially in the age of social media and technology.
Yes,
There are more people who talk about it than actually do it. I believe in actions, and I don't just believe in actions. Believe in strategic actions. I think it was
right there.
Alex Chaparro. He told me, he said, "You're the most strategic person I know." And it's, if I'm going to do it, I need to do it. I need to do it right. And I need to
Yeah,
think about it before I do it, because the mentality for me is, let's start with the end in mind.
yes.
Everybody don't know this, but most people were signifying on the fact that I was driving a 2010 Honda Accord, right? Now, my car was good and paid for,
I
okay?
love that car, first of all.
And I wasn't trying to go and get a new car. The first thing was, how do I get my child out of college and I not have any debt? So
Yeah,
I don't have any debt. I spent $80,000 to send Skylar to college out of pocket, all paid for. Okay. So I could not have my child call me and he need anything. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, but I got that new Benz, I got that new whatever sitting outside. Now, some of y'all, that work for you. It don't
yes,
work for me.
no,
So what he needed, I always said, check your account. That was my favorite. Check your account. The next thing was, I want a second home. So I don't want to sacrifice a car for my second home. The only reason, the only reason I'm rolling a BMW is because my car was totaled. And if I'm
yeah,
going to ride, I'm going to ride right. If the moment you force me to go buy a new car, if I'm going to ride, I'm going to ride right. But it's always thinking with the end in mind. So
absolutely.
the actions I take today are to get me to my ultimate goal. And I'm going to show you what the ultimate goal is. And I'm going to send a big shout out to Andy right now when we talk about this goal. My goal is that on September the 25th,
Wow.
2033, I will be financially eligible for retirement. Not that I'm going to retire, but if I don't feel like rolling up out of my bed in the morning, all my bills will be paid in a timely
Yes.
manner. This is the day right here.
That's powerful. That's
But
powerful. Can you share? You said shout out to Andy. Who's Andy?
oh, Andy from Real Chicago Real Producers Magazine.
Got it.
So
Okay.
he actually purchased these luggage tags for me, and he put the date on the back. He's a
Wow.
very thoughtful gift giver. And this was the date. And well, let me say this. I tell people being strategic as well. You better pick your spouses right. Um, all I gotta do, all I gotta do is breathe.
That part.
I'm married to a locomotive engineer. The reason I'm going to be financially eligible is because this is when I will get my first railroad spousal funded pension check. All I got to, I'm the first wife, I'm vested. All I got to do is I can leave Stephen today or tomorrow as long as I don't get remarried.
That's
And
it.
this is gonna happen. So when y'all be sliding into my DM sounding real cute, nice, and flirtatious, baby, all I gotta do is breathe. I wouldn't be bothered with another man to save my life because all I gotta do is breathe. And
And
this is
hold out.
guaranteed. So this is a part of the think with the end in mind. Because you see
Yes.
how I just said, I don't even know why y'all wasting y'all time because all I gotta
Yes.
do is what? Breathe.
Breathe. Oh my God.
That's why Stephen looked good to me every
Every
day.
day. No, I agree. I think that it's important to think. I think it's important to always consider the end in mind. And so I could have done a lot of things with funds and commission checks and things of that nature. I could have, right now, I'm driving a 2010 Kia. So a lot of people are like, you don't want a new car. I honestly don't. I don't want a new car because I am not one of the things that I read when I was doing research on Black home ownership is a lot of times the first thing that people do in our communities when they get a promotion, when they get something of value, or when they get a lump sum of money is unfortunately they go out and they purchase a luxury car. That's one of the first things that we do. And I don't necessarily need to purchase a luxury car because I don't want to be a part of anything that loses value the moment I sit my behind in the seat and it starts to depreciate. It's a mindset. And I'm not saying that it's not a good look. If that's what somebody else wants to do, I'm not here to knock them. I just know what's for me. My goal ultimately is to get myself together, continue to get my finances in order so that I can start leveraging the real estate that I'm teaching other people to leverage. So that's my ultimate goal, and to pull my daughter in so that she can do the same thing.
Amen. Amen. What special is there any one special tool, a tool that you use every single day that you believe have has aided in your success?
Currently, Home Snap is my go-to. The
All right.
reason why I say home snap is because I'll give an example. I had a client who's on the market, very passionate about purchasing multifamilies. I've already shared with him the statistics and how multifamilies, it's a little bit of a struggle trying to get those multifamilies. And when you're utilizing other resources, like some of the other platforms, a lot of the information on those platforms is outdated. Some of the information that he's looking to find, like the rent roll and things of that nature, are not on those platforms. So I sent him my home snap information a couple of days ago, and I told him, I know you might be used to leveraging these other platforms, but home snap is a way for them to connect to me directly because they can show me their favorites. They can shoot me a text message straight from the Home Snap app. So that is my go-to tool of 2021, and I'm going to learn how to leverage that more.
You know, it's kind of funny. I'm going to shout out to the former Alderman Cochran. He was on my Home Snap app. And then we pivoted to do an event, me and Nicole Wheatley. And he went over to Nicole Wheatley's Home Snap app. Do you know I got a notice that told me
Yes,
he had went over to Nicole? And I
yes,
just started cracking up. It was in the midst of doing an event. So I love the fact that they also let you know when people leave you and who they went to, right?
exactly.
Which is a little hidden secret inside of that. So I appreciate you for sharing Home Snap as your go-to app. In closing,
And
what is one action? Now we know what app you use. One action that you take every single day.
Every single morning. Well, so it's twice. So at night I look at my calendar. When I wake up in the morning, I look at my calendar.
Excellent.
Simple.
That's why that follow up and the fact that you're always on time for all your meetings. So today, guys, we wanted to come over here and just do an agent interview on mindset, but also because Cassandra has accomplished so much in a very short period of time. But that was actually built on
Yeah,
years of consistently changing your mindset. If she can do it, you can do it. If you change your
absolutely.
mindset, you can change your life. It does not matter where you started. We
That's right.
can rewrite what this ending is going to look like. If you're looking to get into real estate, make sure that you text Miss Cass. And if you're looking for a new real estate home, make sure that you text Miss Cass. We want to thank you for spending time with us today
Thank you.
here. Hey, where's Miss Cass? She's on
Where's
the
Miss
Facebook.
Cass?
See you guys later.